Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 in this series between Sage and Satiini. Sage spawning as the red Protoss player on the bottom left hand side of the map. Satiini spawning on the top right hand side of the map as the blue Terran. Terran versus Protoss. Game 2 as Sage was able to easily take game 1 even though he was just poking and prodding up against Satiini. Satiini just unable to handle all of that aggression. Now, what will Sage do here in game 2? Now moving down, looks like he will be just setting up a normal pylon and utilizing this pylon to perhaps create a bit of a wall here on the front door. That's an old school strategy, and when I say old school, I mean like a year and a half ago. An old school strategy in StarCraft 2 where you may want to limit the amount of units that can walk in and out. I haven't been seeing a lot of professional players use it, as the SimCity actually can be to your own detriment at times if you do not know how to handle it. SCV just simply patrolling. It looks like he will be building a barracks. Will Satiini be establishing up a refinery? That is the question of the minute. And if Satiini is going to be establishing a refinery, it will dictate what his strategy will be. Sage, on the other hand, just chrono boosting out probes without a care in the world, setting up that assimilator. Should be getting up another pylon here in just a moment, followed by that cybernetics core. Satiini now has opted to go for that gas play here, and we'll see if he once again tries to utilize Banshees. 3-port Banshee, one of those strategies where if you can catch your opponent off guard, it really does a lot of damage. But so far, Sage has had brilliant map awareness, being able to position units in transit so that those Banshees weren't able to really deal any damage at all. So far, Cybernetics Core now being added here. Probe finally making the late trek out to do a bit of scouting, as Satiini now sends a new SCV to work on this supply depot. Back over here, refinery, 3 on gas. We should see a transition into a rather fast factory here at any point, as Sage now looks to look around the map and see if he can spot perhaps an early expansion. Sitting at 19/19, Satiini needs to get up some additional depots, and there it goes, and now adding in a factory as well, and now adding in a bunker on the high ground. Interesting strategy, as the probe is unable to get up onto the high ground. I believe it did spot that bunker there. Yes, it did. And with that, Sage perhaps is expecting that there is not going to be any sort of fast expansion. But Sage still looking to go for a fast expansion of his own to get ahead in the economic game. So far, we are adding a reactor here. Factory is already down. Perhaps we will transition into a starport. Reactor Hellion drop. I know at times that can completely catch Protoss players off guard, and when it does deal so much damage. There is that barracks. It is now completed. Factory now landing to take its place. Double training of Hellions, as we are still only harvesting off of 1 gas. Satiini now at some point may consider trying to halt production just a little bit to get into a command center, or he will continue to flood all of his resources into what may be an all-in attempt or an all-in attack. We are now seeing starport about 5 seconds away from being completed. 2 Hellions out. Are we going to see that medevac? Don't make me a liar. Come on. Nope. Going into a tech lab. All right, so it is going to make me a liar. It is not going to be an elevator drop at all. Adding in a tech lab instead, so it's going to be 1-port Banshee with Marines and Hellions all off of 1 gas. Hellions now making a move across the field. Will they catch any of those units? It looks like they may catch a probe over here at the Zelnaga Tower if they are very careful. Meanwhile, Stalkers and Sentries are already in position. Stalkers and Sentries are already in position to perhaps intercept these groups of Hellions. More so the Stalker than the Stalker, as the Stalker does have higher DPS and is not vulnerable to these units. Sentry or Hellions. Oh, there's 1 torch. There's the 2nd torch, and there is that damage already dealt. Probes are starting to fall. Another probe does fall there. Another probe falls. So the worker kill count is getting a little bit high. Will he be able to get away? Yes. 4 workers killed here, as we now see more Hellions still being added. All right, Banshees now being added as well. Is it going to be enough? The Hellions and the Banshees look to deal a fair amount of damage, but how much damage can they really look to do? All right, we also see supply blocking by Satiini. Satiini now building 2 additional supply depots. Hellions now perhaps going to wake their way down, spot this probe. Probe will take 3 shots of flame and then pretty much get destroyed. Natural expansion being established right around the 8-minute mark this time. Meanwhile, Observer already on the move, perhaps looking for and figuring out what the strategy of Satiini is. We are going into the starport here. Hellions now making their way in, and they're simply just going to do a run by. Nope, not going to do a run by. You can see all that splash damage, how much is being dealt, and never take for granted that Hellions, even though they don't deal that much damage to Stalkers, can still deal a fair amount when they go unchecked. Hellions now backing away once more. Here we go, units just dancing around. There goes one Hellion down and out, as we already are getting a Banshee into the air. Adding in a new tech lab, getting additional barracks. Hellions now backing off again. Where are they perhaps going to go, as the Observer now making its way and making a trek across the map? Hellions now trying to regroup here. Satiini sitting on a fair amount of Hellions. We see 29 Harvesters versus 35 in favor of Sage. And the Sentries and the Zealots do have to be very, very careful, as we are going to be going into a bit of a wall. All right, beautifully done there. The Banshee getting off an easy kill, and now the Hellions getting off some easy shots onto some of those Zealots as well. So this is all very interesting, as the Banshee now needs to back away. Damage is rather high from all of these units. This Hellion Banshee composition looking to try to destroy all of these Stalkers, but the Stalkers now giving chase. Those units will be backing off once more. All right, Sage looking to eat through all of these units here. Satiini now in a bit of trouble, down by 15 supply. Let's take a look at the overall army supply: 27 to 20. Worker supply 47 to 36. Sage is winning on both fronts, as we are now going into a robotics bay. Robotics bay being added. A lot of Banshees trying to be added here off of one starport. Still an Observer keeping track of all of these units on the inside. Siege tanks still being added, and Immortals will be utilized in order to counteract that, as we see a salvaging on the front door. So far, Sage has been in dominant control of the game. Hasn't really need to do very much, just responding and reacting to Satiini beautifully to come out ahead in all of these rather small skirmishes. We are going into a Raven now, and a Raven could change things tremendously. As the Ravens would shut down a lot of the Observers that are currently out on the map, and also the use of that point defense drone, that PDD, can really deal absorb a lot of damage. Satiini also looking to set up a ninja expansion. Nope. Building instead of a supply depot off over here. Not quite sure why he decided to cancel that ninja expansion, as that ninja expansion might have gone unchecked for quite some time. Observer still wandering around. Was that place revealed? It was revealed, but nothing really shown at all, as we now see Sage already establishing up his third base. All right, Satiini actually moving out with his Raven, his Marines, his Marauders. The Marines do not have stim just quite yet. There, one Observer does get shot down, and now we are perhaps going to go off to the north. Sage may end up losing these 4 Stalkers, and at this stage in the game, every Stalker really counts. You cannot afford to lose units needlessly at all. Siege tanks, and here we go. There's the engagement. The Hellions deciding not to engage there, as we now see Satiini coming off the mineral line with some SCVs. SCVs getting in some easy attacks. The SCVs are not on auto repair. And what is going on? The Raven, walking in. There's a point defense drone intercepting some attacks. It was shot down rather quickly. And now SCV's getting stuck on the wrong side of the wall again. Alright, those units do need to back off here. Siege tanks do have superior range over Immortals. Range of 7 versus a range of 6. And Satiini now looking to just do an all-in counterattack. Sitting at 108 versus 125. Sage is in a bit of trouble. All those SCVs once again gonna get taken down. Marines trying to make their way in. Siege tanks blasting back. And I believe Sage is gonna take game 2 here in this series, as Satiini unable to keep up. Alright, so I don't know what this means, but it could mean in fact that this isn't a best of 3 series. It is just a 3-game set between Satiini and Sage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for game 3.